What is up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in. And this is the part where I usually say to this week's video. But for those of you who follow my channel, you may have noticed that I haven't been around for the last 4 or 5 weeks. That's because I had a couple issues going on. I had surgery on my hand, nothing major, carpal tunnel. And then I got COVID and I was pretty sick. So I'm back and ready to share this video with you. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks for being patient while I took several weeks to upload this video. There I was just pointing to my bandage on my hand where I had carpal tunnel surgery, which is why I haven't been around on YouTube for the past few weeks. So have this piece of maple. This is from Maine. It's made Maine maple. And it's not quite circular, so I'm starting pretty slow on the lathe, about 250 RPM with the Carter & Son bowl gouge. And as it comes more and more into round, I can speed up the lathe. Here I am about 500 RPM. A little ways to go. I stop and sharpen a couple times off camera. And now that it's pretty much into round, I can take smoother, longer passes with the bowl gouge and actually starting the curve down there on the bottom. Still with the Carter & Son bowl gouge. And don't yell at me for getting rid of the live edge, but that was not what I was going for on this piece. And here I'm noticing some pretty large and quite a few cracks in this piece. But instead of throwing it into the fire pit, I decide to keep going and see how bad it really is and if it can be saved. Spoiler alert, it can be saved. And I'm going for a different bottom on this than I usually do. I usually do a foot and a mortise. This time I'm doing just a mortise. The foot really is just the rest of the bottom of the bowl. And the reason for that is a foot on this narrow of a bottom I don't think would have looked correct. It wouldn't have looked symmetrical or whatever you call it. Here I'm using the chuck and expansion mode and putting it back on the lathe, making sure it's tight, and then I'm going to use a Forstner bit in a drill chuck to hog out a bit of material here. This is sped up quite a bit. It did take a little bit. This piece of maple is pretty hard. but it does give a good starting point for hollowing out the bowl. And I know there are lots of ways to hollow out a bowl, but my favorite part is to just go slow and enjoy it. You can see the piece coming into shape. And I stop and check often because of the cracks. I don't want it to come flying off the lathe. That little jolt there was just my lathe had started to fall down, so I moved the camera. But as you can see, some nice shavings coming off of here. Getting close to the hollowing out process being done here. Here I'm using push and pull cuts to get a little bit more shallow, or the sides thinner. And again, stopping to check for cracks and putting in the robust interior curved tool rest. I'll have this in the links below if you want to check it out. Taking my time and just doing some light passes here. Don't want to join the funnel club. So because this is spalted maple and there's some spalting naturally in it, I decided to use some Starbond black CA glue. And what this does is kind of mimic the spalting after it's all said and done. It looks, you know, like a horrible art project at the moment, but it does get better. Certainly could have used clear, but I think that would have been more noticeable actually than the black. You'll see what I mean here when we get towards the end. But after that dried overnight, not that I needed to wait overnight, but I did. And this is some additional cracks on the inside that I'm making sure have CA glue as well. And what I'm going to do here is use the curved tool rest as well as the Carter & Son internal scraper. This is a 1-inch scraper. I'll have that linked in the video description as well. It's a real lifesaver in times like this. And I have different choices to get you know, in the curves and things like that. You can use a bowl gouge, but I find this works much better. And sanding, I won't bore you with all the sanding, but I did sand from 80 to 320 grit. And the sanding is done magically, and using some denatured alcohol to clean off the dust and any particles that are on the piece before putting sanding sealer on. I'm using Zinsser's sanding sealer, and it is cut with 70% sealer and 30% denatured alcohol. And I put it on pretty liberally. And once that dries, I use a quadruple zero pad to de-nib the surface. And this really does help smooth it quite a bit. And then starting with the Axe Abrasive Sanding Paste. If you haven't tried Axe, you must try it. No matter if you're a wood turner or a woodworker, it has tons of applications and it's so easy to use. It's not expensive and it leaves an amazing finish. So I have a coupon code down in the video description. Make sure you save yourself some money and use that. You won't be sorry. You can get just this abrasive paste, or you can get a kit of the abrasive paste and the polishing paste, which is coming up next right here. And it is now newly made with carnauba wax. So if you have some, need to refill your axe, make sure you get the new stuff. It is even better than before. As easy as that. Buff in and buff off. Hey, if you're not already subscribed to PF Woodturning on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the thumbs up button. That would really help me out. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your next project is. Let me know if you like this idea of using Starbond to match the spalting. Is it a hit or is it a miss? Let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear it. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Before I show you the finished piece, be sure, hit the thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you don't miss any uploads that we do. Here is the finished piece. Now, as I mentioned in the video, Starbond CA glue, it really just blends in with the natural spalting of this particular wood. You almost can't tell it's, glue, but I still have to sand the bottom a little bit and put my logo on there, but I like how this one turned out. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and until next week, peace out, guys. Happy to be back.